Sawa. A very good afternoon. You are just in time for the Younib TV news at 1 with me, Cliffe. Let's get straight to our top stories.
Kama ni nyumba, kama kulivyo nyumba iko na kesi ya rent, wasaidiwe kulipa ndio tuweze kurudishiwa security kwa pande yetu.
The journey to motherhood is one of the most that brings immense joy, but can also come with unforeseen medical issues regarding time for recovery and healing. Many women have gone through this, and Governor Kiika is no different.
Every Kenyan, of course, can walk into the Integrity Center to deliver any complaint that they may have. It will be analyzed and, of course, dealt with in line with our procedures and the law.
Kuna mjamaa mliona mwenye ni kibonge, mwenye ni mnono, mwenye alinichapa kuanzia tukiwa kwa majani chai, akanileta mpaka kwa kaburi akanichapa. Huyo mtu akiweza patikana, that's the time yenye nitaona nimepata justice.
All right, welcome now to our top story. According to President William Ruto, Justin Muturi, the current cabinet secretary and former attorney general, was incompetent while serving as the government's chief legal counsel. While holding an iftar for members of the Muslim community at the State House, President Ruto addressed concerns of the Muslim leaders on the delays in the establishment of an endowment fund, which has an act in place but has not yet been operationalized. Muturi, on the other hand, says he demanded the constitution of a commission of inquiry investigating the kidnappings of youth by government security forces. Take a look.
We move forward. We will continue to look at the issues that have been raised here, issues of education, and how we can mainstream religious education and find a nexus between religious education and the formal education that we have. So we will look at what we need to do. Mumesema mambo ya waqf, and I agree with you. It is it's taken too long. There is absolutely no reason, and I had a problem with the AG who was there. He was fairly incompetent, but I now have a very competent lady. I now have a very competent lady, and I can assure you that the issues of work will be sorted out.
All right, and on to our next story. Rafael Tuju has already filed a lawsuit against justices of the Supreme Court. In a letter to Chief Justice Martha Koome last week, the former CS accused Supreme Court judges of bias in handling important cases, including the ruling in the 2022 presidential petition. He presented what he claimed was evidence against the judges when he appeared before EACC Chairperson Bishop David Onginde.
What the judges are doing is that they don't want to reply to the accusations are made against them at the Judicial Service Commission. So they have gone to court to stop the Judicial Commission from getting their response. The question I'm asking is that why are they afraid to respond? In fact, I'm not even saying that whatever accusations I made at the Judicial Service Commission were right. I don't know what has changed when I touch the Supreme Court, unless it is within the philosophy of don't touch the mountain. You can imagine if in this country, those of us who are leaders start talking about don't touch the lake or don't touch the ocean.
Every Kenyan, of course, can walk into the Integrity Center to deliver any complaint that they may have. It will be analyzed and, of course, dealt with in line with our procedures and the law.
Still on politics, women lawmakers have referred to petitions against Susan Kihika, who is the governor of Nakuru, as discriminatory and an assault on female leaders. The organization stated that motherhood and work, that the organization, of women leaders should not be forced to choose between motherhood and work, that they are entitled to maternity leave. While speaking about the issue in Parliament, the governor of Nakuru is reportedly in the United States, while her deputy is carrying out her duties. She was last seen in public in November of last year.
The journey to motherhood is one of the most that brings immense joy, but can also come with unforeseen medical issues regarding time for recovery and healing. Many women have gone through this, and Governor Kihika is no different. It is important to acknowledge that our extended absence is due to circumstances beyond her control.
We have labor laws that govern what should happen when a woman requires to go on maternity. There are legal stipulations. What should happen if a person is sick but is in office and requires permission to go and be treated? All those are already set.
And so I expected, just like we celebrate other mothers, that we'll be very excited for her and very happy for her when she gets a child.
The people asking for the deportation of Governor Susan Kihika, they are writing letters to the U.S. asking for her deportation. In the U.S., they are good in data collection. They know very well she has given birth.
Were it a man who is unwell, there's so many men who are in leadership who have not been in the constituencies for 1 year, for 2 years, but you never hear anything about it. But because it is Susan Kihika, there is a lot of noise around it.
And now 3 suspects will be held for 7 more days in connection with the vicious attack of a woman who disregarded customary burial rites for her deceased ex-husband. The prosecution, before resident magistrate Beryl Cheng in Nyamira County, requested more time to wrap up investigations. Now, Melan Mogaka, the victim, has also named 8 additional people she believes were involved in the attack. Now, the State Department of Gender has also condemned the incident.
Respondents be held in custody for 7 days. Should the IO require more time, you are at liberty to make that application before the guilty court on 1st of April 2025.
Jamaa mliona mwenye ni kibonge, mwenye ni mnono, mwenye alinichapa kuanzia tukiwa kwa majani chai, akanileta mpaka kwa kaburi akanichapa. Huyo mtu akiweza patikana, that's the time yenye nitaona nimepata justice. Na nataka polisi wakiweza waleta mbele ya hapa, nitaweza furahia sana. 2 ndio wako hapa na bado 8 hawajaletwa.
And now to health matters. Due to deaths and owed under the National Health Insurance System, which is now administered by the Social Health Authority, missionary-owned hospitals in the Nairobi Archdiocese may close. This is according to Archbishop Philip Anyolo. This also comes just 2 weeks after President William Ruto promised all faith-based hospitals that their claims will be resolved promptly. Archbishop Anyolo argues that missionary hospitals are hamstrung by the failure to pay outstanding invoices and are no longer functioning normally.
Yes, if they don't pay, there will be a shutdown, and you will know that the church, as it were, it has a bigger percentage of medical services to help the government and to help the people of Kenya.
Going to incapacitate us, and we may not be able to provide services as per the framework and as per the strategic plan. We get this money, we'll be able to run this institution in a better way.
We give services, but also we need to improve on those services. So it is very important that we also are listened to, and we are working together in cooperation with this Ministry of Health and also the government as such.
And now to an interesting story. Residents of the Riandira Mwea West constituency are rather concerned about the abrupt closure of the local police station, the relocation of the officers who manned it, and more than 2 million shillings in rental arrears. According to the family of the now deceased property owner, the leasing of the property was donated by the late father when he passed away in 2018. The family requested that the National Police Service begin paying the rent, but the police never complied. In a brief response, police spokesperson Michael Mashiri claims that no such agreement existed.
Nyumba kama kulivyo nyumba iko na kesi ya rent, wasaidiwe kulipa ndio tuweze kurudishiwa security kwa pande yetu.
Kila mtu kwa Kenya ako na haki yake. Mwenye nyumba ako na haki ya kulipwa kodi ya nyumba yake. Na hata polisi nao pia wale wanaofanya kazi pia nao wanatakiwa walipwe. Na sisi wenyeji na sisi tunatakiwa haki yetu ni security.
And on to sports news, because there isn't an approved running track in the nation. The World Championships will take place outside the country. The tracks at Nyayo National Stadium and Kasarani are in a poor condition and fall short of the necessary requirements. The construction of a new tartan track at Nyayo National Stadium has not yet begun, and top athletes are anxious to meet the qualifying times. Those who are fortunate enough to receive invitations to compete in the Diamond League and other sanctioned events by World Athletics will attempt to beat the times in those competitions. Most athletes, particularly the beginners, will need to search for qualifying times in contests held outside of the nation.
It means now the few who would have qualified will just be invited to come and compete for the trials, and now knocking out the majority of those athletes who could otherwise have qualified and made the team for the World Championship. So we are requesting the government again to fast track the laying of the new tartan in Nyayo National Stadium so that our athletes can have a chance to qualify locally here and also make the team for the World Championship.
Now, well, that story brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon here at Younib TV. Remember, we still have a lot lined up for you in our subsequent programs. My name is Cliffe and have a good afternoon.